Good morning, everybody. I thought we'd finish our week off with story time together. This is the book that we're going to look at today, Winnie and Wilbur Around the World. Hopefully you won't have heard this story, as I've just bought this one for Jake and Isla, as it's just been published this year. So let's have a little read. Winnie and Wilbur Around the World. That's the title. Valerie Thomas is the author and Corky Paul is the illustrator. Winnie the Witch and her big black cat Wilbur were choosing their library books. Well, Winnie was choosing them. Wilbur just liked looking at the pictures. Winnie was looking at a book with lovely pictures of animals. "Look at this beautiful giraffe, Wilbur," Winnie said. "I've always wanted to see a giraffe in the wild." Then Winnie had an excellent idea. "Let's fly around the world and visit all the animals in the book," she said. "It will be a great adventure." "Meow," said Wilbur. "I hope they don't eat me," he thought. Winnie borrowed the book, flew home and packed their suitcase, tied it to a broomstick, and they zoomed up into the air. Winnie looked at the first picture in the book. Then she waved her magic wand and shouted, "Abracadabra!" And they were sitting in a tree house watching some giraffes. "We'll have our lunch," Winnie said, and she unpacked the sandwiches. One of the giraffes walked over to look at them. "Isn't it beautiful?" Winnie said. "Look at its long eyelashes and its long tongue." Flick! The sandwiches were gone. "But at least it didn't eat me," Wilbur thought. Winnie looked at the next picture. She waved her wand and shouted, "Abracadabra!" And they landed at an oasis. "Good," said Winnie. "I've always wanted to ride a camel across the desert." Winnie ate some dates and Wilbur drank camel's milk. Then they joined a camel train and rode off across the desert, but it was very hot and the ride was bouncy. Luckily, Winnie still had her broomstick, so they climbed on and flew away. The next picture in the book was... What's it going to be? What do we think? Kangaroos! One of the kangaroos had a baby in her pouch. Wilbur was interested in the pouch. "That's an excellent way to travel," he thought. Wow! We've got Uluru behind Ayers Rock in Australia. The baby kangaroo jumped out. Wilbur jumped in and the kangaroo bounced away. "Meow!" cried Wilbur. The mother kangaroo looked into her pouch and bounced back to Winnie. I don't think she looks very happy. Pandas were on the next page. They ate bamboo, rolled in the grass, had a sleep and ate more bamboo. Wilbur was happy to roll in the grass and have a sleep too. Oh, they look beautiful. But Winnie was bored. "I hope the next animal's a bit more exciting." Not too exciting, Wilbur thought. Wonder which animal could be next. Have a guess. Wow! The next one was quite exciting. An enormous whale! It didn't want to eat Wilbur, but it was very splashy, and Wilbur hated getting wet. After the whale came a polar bear, and it looked hungry, so Winnie and Wilbur didn't land on the ice. Look at the snowman. And all the skeleton fish, the bones left at the bottom. Then they visited an elephant, an aardvark, and some meerkats. None of them ate cats. We are up to the last page now, Wilbur, Winnie said. She waved her wand, shouted, Abracadabra! Wow, look where they are now. And they were deep in the jungle, surrounded by monkeys, naughty monkeys. One of them pulled Wilbur's tail and another one grabbed Winnie's wand. And what's going to happen to Winnie's wand? Look who's lurking. Threw it into the river where a crocodile snapped it up. Luckily, magic wands taste horrible. The crocodile spat out the wand, looked at all the stars and looked at Wilbur. That cat looked much tastier, it thought. It looked up at Wilbur and opened its enormous mouth. The crocodile was going to eat Wilbur. Do you think Winnie has time to save him? Meow, cried Wilbur. Winnie grabbed Wilbur and the wand and they zoomed up into the air. It's time to take this book back to the library, Winnie said. But before we do, you can choose our very last animal, Wilbur. Close your eyes and think of your favourite animal. When you've thought of it, I'll make a spell to take us where it lives. Wilbur closed his eyes and thought about it. Of course, his favourite animal was obvious. Winnie waved a magic wand and shouted, Abracadabra. What do you think his favourite animal is? And she was back in her garden with Wilbur. You're my favourite animal too, Wilbur, Winnie said. Pooh, pooh, pooh. You see who he likes to be with best. And thankfully, they've taken the book back. The end. What a lovely story. What was your favourite animal? I think mine would have to be the kangaroos. I love the kangaroos. Why don't you draw a picture from the story and think about where you'd like to go? Or perhaps the animals weren't in this story that you'd like to go and visit, so you can draw your own. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. Bye-bye.